Welcome to 123 Minimize with Jody and Linnea, the podcast where we discuss easy minimalism for busy moms. Whether you're a new mom in need of practical decluttering tips or an experienced parent seeking simplified routines, you've come to the right place. I'm Jody, wife and full-time working mom of 4. In 2017, I founded the Minimalist Mom Facebook group, now with over 270,000 members. My passion is creating a simple, healthy, and happy home where my family can thrive.
I'm Linnea, a homeschooling mom of 4. In 2021, my family and I sold our house, downsized to a 36-foot travel trailer RV, and embraced minimalism. Living with less has been liberating, and I'm thrilled to share tips and experiences to help you simplify your life. Whether you're sitting down, getting stuff done, or lacing up your walking shoes, welcome to the 123 Minimize podcast.
Today we're going to discuss birthdays, gift getting, gift giving, birthday parties for kids, birthday parties for adults. And a little fun fact to fit with this topic is this week is my birthday. So before we get started, I would like to ask everyone for a little gift today. If anyone's listening and wanted to leave us a review, that would be the best gift I could possibly ask for. So let's start with the topic of gift getting. Often when we start in our minimalist journey, it can feel difficult to receive gifts, especially if gifts isn't necessarily your love language or whatever, but it is the language of somebody else, possibly. And then you get this stuff into your home and maybe it can almost feel like a burden, especially if it wasn't on your list or you didn't want it or it's not something that you asked for. Often we can want something and then it becomes an object of never-ending maintenance. So if someone were to ask me what I wanted for my birthday or for another holiday, I often think about how I'm going to be able to maintain it. Is it going to fit in my house? Where am I going to put it? What am I going to do with it? Or maybe you receive something and it just sits there collecting dust and it didn't quite fill the desire that you thought it would.
I always, show my gratitude to the person who gave it to me. And I know that it was given to me in love and with thoughtfulness. And I appreciate that part of our relationship. But then I just have decided not to feel bad about hanging on to stuff, especially if it's not something particularly important. Like if my mom were to give me something that was my grandma's, that might need to be a different conversation that I have with her about it. If it's something I don't want to keep, I might actually just talk to her about it or see if there's someone else in the family who wants it, things like that. But usually if it's just a whatever gift, somebody that is a friend that I don't see that often and they give me a candle, maybe we'll use it a little and then I'll donate it if it's just in my way.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea, for me at least, is to accept the gift. And then if I don't need it, let it go. Yeah. Like not feel bad about letting it go, but just like let it all go. The emotions around keeping the gift, everything.
Right.
You don't need to tell anybody that you donated or sold a gift.
No.
People buy gifts to make you happy. And if it's a burden, then they wouldn't typically want you to feel that burden.
Right.
If I bought or made something for somebody and it felt like a burden to them, I wouldn't want them to keep it.
Right.
Gifts are a way that people try to contribute to our lives. It's not necessarily just a way to show love or even a way to show love. It's not always a love thing. Sometimes it's more complex than that. Sometimes it's used as a way to make up for bad behavior or neglect. It doesn't always fix stuff.
Right.
You could have a not great relationship with a friend and they might come in with this wonderful gift and you're like, oh, okay, thank you. It doesn't fix neglect. And so, but some people think it does. Like, oh, I can throw money at it. I can throw gifts at it. Maybe like absent grandparents, they send big gifts, but they're not there.
Yeah.
It's not going to fix the problem of them not being there. And so to have the gift sitting there and your kids don't want it or you don't want it, you feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
Now it's like two negative things.
Yeah.
You miss that person, you want them in your lives, and now you have this gift that you didn't want. That they feel like it's making up for it. So I think it's, totally fine to kind of release any baggage around getting rid of it. And one way that we have gotten rid of stuff is in a Buy Nothing group on Facebook in our local area because I love that it's going to somebody who wants it.
Yeah.
I love that it's not just ending up in the trash at a thrift store.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I love it. And sometimes it's even, we'll get a thank you card left on the door.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to add more stuff to the trash. And
Yep.
you're like, oh, I should keep this. I should use it, but I really don't know what I would do with it. And I don't really want it.
Yeah.
And then you can totally make somebody's day.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's the opposite too. When you're looking for something specific and you see it on one of those groups, you feel like that's for me. Like, oh my goodness, I can go get this and it's local and I don't have to buy this,
Yeah.
It's so fun to have the connection.
Yes, the connection. Meet people in your neighborhood. Sometimes also, and you're right, sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I really need a baby gate because we're going to dog sit this puppy and I don't really want to buy a baby gate because my kids are too old. I'm not going to use it a bunch. And then to see it on there. Oh, there it is. I'll come and get it. No problem. And then I can just pass it on when we're done with it. And somebody else will be like, yay, I got this thing that maybe they needed for their baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing that's been hard for us when our kids were really little, money was super tight. And I would ask for specific things.
Yes.
Like, okay, really like a gift card for clothes or some clothes in this size.
Right.
Or whatever. And often we would get gifts that were like big plastic toys.
Oh,
but
yes.
then year after year, we just accumulate all this stuff. And I would feel like not heard or seen in a way because I know they wanted to experience the joy on the kid's face.
Right.
But I would just see all these bigger things that we needed that we weren't able to provide. And I know it's fun to give little kids a big gift.
Right.
But often they would just play with the box.
Yeah. Right.
Or it was a lot of gifts and the kid would start crying. That has happened at my house where they're like, I don't want to open any more presents. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like all the people looking at them, all that attention on them. It can really be overwhelming. And an invitation and not bring gifts doesn't always work. It's surprising that when you do set a boundary sometimes, people just do their own thing.
Yeah.
And even then, though, I think it's a good idea to just have grace in the moment.
Right.
Because in the moment, you're at a party, you don't really want drama, and you just need to let that go, too.
Right.
The feelings around that. And we can't control other people, right? We can only control ourselves.
Right.
So you can control, like, what kind of party you host next year, or if you invite the same people. That's all stuff that you can control.
Yeah.
But controlling if they, like, follow your rules isn't always possible. So when it comes to gift giving, I think often we would like to download a list that's like 10 or 20 minimalist gifts. But it isn't that simple.
Yeah.
There might be lists out there, but there is no way to possibly know what everybody needs or wants in their life. Everybody is so different. One interesting quote I came across from the minimalists is, gifts can be one of the most thoughtless ways to contribute to someone's life. And so that was a shocking quote for me because it seems really harsh. But they were talking about how sometimes when we give a gift, we just go looking for a gift. You're in the mall or in a store and you're just like, what can I get them? What can I get them? You're not really thinking about the person. You're almost thinking about yourself. Like, what will it look like if I give them this? Is it expensive enough? You're kind of fulfilling a need in yourself to show them or love, I would say. They would disagree with me. But it's not the same as really thoughtfully thinking about the person and how you can celebrate them. Because you're really thinking about how you want to celebrate them. So I would say kids' birthday parties is a huge topic in the Minimalist Mom Facebook group.
Yes.
Massive. It comes out maybe every day.
Oh, yes.
We get a post on this topic.
Multiple times per day, I would say.
Yep.
For sure. Well, it covers so many different aspects.
Yeah.
It's not just the gifts, but it's also the party and the party favors and...
Yeah, and the friends and the family and going to other people's parties.
Right.
Everything.
Yep.
It's a constant. So, Linnea, how many kids' birthdays have you thrown since you became a mother?
Well, I think when you add up my kids' ages, it adds up to 45.
Yeah, that's a lot.
How about you?
53.
Oh, my goodness.
So we have a lot of experience between us here. Yeah. So I've probably done almost every kind of birthday type. We've definitely done the invite like extended family, aunts, uncles, grandparents, that kind. When the kids are really little and don't necessarily have their own friends. We've done the inviting school friends over and having like a big decorated party. We've done activity birthday stuff where we're at some kind of a place having a party. We've done family trips or family experiences. And then we've done really quiet birthdays at home with just the family.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what else would be another topic of birthday type, but I think we've done them all.
We've done one that you didn't mention that we've done, because we've done all those as well. But we've done where the kid, whoever's birthday it is, will choose one friend, and we take those two and do something fun, like go to an amusement park. So that way it's not like 50 people. Yeah. But you pay for it, and it's just the kid and their one friend.
Yeah, we've done that too with... For sure, I can remember my son. We specifically did that a couple of times, and that has been good. Yeah. I would say we started with the bigger parties and recently are doing less.
Same. Completely same. Yeah, when my kids were really little, I just was in this phase of life where I really didn't have any hobbies. And I think I really enjoyed putting together these fancy parties. Fancy, I should say, involved. Like, it was a lot for me to prepare. And we didn't have a lot of money at the time, so I was really trying to, like, make as much of the decorations and things that I could. Like, one year, my girls' birthdays are both in the spring, so I did a combined party for the two of them. One of them really liked Tangled, and the other one really liked Cinderella. So I'm like, well, we'll just do, like, Tangled/Cinderella. Yeah. So I just got, like, colored paper and made the purple lanterns with the stars on them and hung a bunch of those from the ceiling. And I spent a lot of time on that. I also did another one for the girls that was combined, that was under the sea. And I had like balloons in a net hanging from the ceiling that looked like, it was supposed to look like water under the ocean, and like all these fish hanging from the ceiling. And I mean, it was the most elaborate. I had this like fishing game that we played, and all the food looked like clams and crabs and, you know, all kinds of, it was so fun. But I probably spent 3 months, like every single night after the kids were in bed, working on it. And I did enjoy it at the time, but it was like really a lot of time. And then all the kids that were going to come cancel. They were either sick or whatever. Oh, no. So it was just my kids and their grandparents. They didn't care, but I was really disappointed because I spent so much time planning this party. But I think by the time my kids were like 5, 6, or 7, you know, after like 3 or 4 years of doing this, I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is a lot of work. So I just don't do that. Now they're older, and if we do a party like that with decorations, they like want to do it. And it's like, oh good, I don't have to do this all by myself. They're getting involved, and they have a lot of fun putting those things together.
And it is fun if that's what you enjoy doing. It's just good to remember like who you're doing it for. Right. Because when the kids are really little, you're doing it for yourself.
Pretty much.
They're not going to remember it.
Right. They hardly remember it at all. I mean, I have some home videos. I think they remember the home videos, but I don't think they would even remember it.
Right. Like if there were no pictures and no videos, and you asked them what their second birthday was like. They won't know.
No.
And it's not to not do those things. Like you want to do the stuff that makes you happy. But like to keep it in perspective that you're doing it for you. And then when they get older, they're going to make requests, and it's typically not that same thing.
No.
We're like, I want you to spend 3 months, stay up late, so you're crabby every morning. I want you to invite like old people, you know, like no offense to grandparents, but like it's not their little friends. It's probably not what they're going to go for.
No.
You know?
No. And that's the thing. Like I said, I did have some fun with it just because I didn't have any hobbies. But once I had hobbies and I was more involved in other things, I realized this is insane. And the kids really don't care. I mean, it was like for a moment, maybe they're like, wow, it looks really cool in here. But then after that, they didn't care. As long as they had cake and we sang happy birthday, they were happy. So yeah, we definitely pared it down after those first few years. And, you know, if you're like... having lots of babies and toddlers and you're like really tired already. I mean, it's really good to know that you really don't have to do that especially when they're little. Like, they won't even notice if there aren't decorations if they're little.
No.
Like you said, it's really just for you.
Yeah. And my experience also is that kids will open a bunch of gifts from their friends or extended family, and then they just run off and want to play.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, oh, and then you're picking up paper and like taking boxes off of plastic toys and putting batteries in things. And that's your afternoon.
Yes.
You know? But they're just doing their own thing. Really little kids are sitting in the box.
Yeah.
And then bigger kids maybe take some other thing and they're playing, want to run around in the backyard with their friends or something. They're not sitting and quietly playing with what they received.
Yep.
Also, it's so much pressure. I remember hating opening gifts in front of people when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That pressure of like, how do I respond to this? And what if I don't like it? And everybody's looking at me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't look at me. I remember dreading it and asking when I got older, can I open these presents later?
Yeah.
I just didn't want all that focus.
Yeah.
Getting the song and the blowing out the candles was enough.
Yeah.
I think. And then I just wanted to go play,
Yep. Yeah, my daughter cried on her first birthday. We were singing happy birthday and put the cake in front of her with the candle. She just started crying.
Yeah.
There's just so many people looking at her.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
What's going on?
Yeah. So a minimalist birthday party typically involves keeping things simple and focusing on what matters most. You could have a small gathering with people if that's what is important to you. Simple decorations can be easy or nothing at all. Like you said, you don't need to do anything, or you can if it brings you joy. Again, this isn't about making your life bland and beige. This is about thinking what is really important to you.
Right. Well, and if your kids are old enough, if they're not like babies and toddlers, like really little, if they're old enough, maybe you can just ask them.
Yeah.
What matters most to you? The cake, the decorations, the games. Like,
what do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
And How do you want to celebrate?
Right.
Making it another year, right? Mm-hmm. The key, I think, is to prioritize meaningful moments over extravagant details.
Yes, absolutely.
And is the party for you or is the party for your kid? Are you really stressed leading up to the guests coming over? I remember thinking that it was hard to have the house clean and the kids clean at the same time.
Yes.
Like, it's this like back and forth. Okay, I cleaned the table and now you're dirty. How'd you get dirty? And I cleaned you and now someone else pours, and it's like that back and forth. So sometimes leading up to people coming over can be actually stressful. Is the kid really stressed on their birthday? Does this all feel like too much for them? If it's really hard to have your house a certain way, going to a park for a birthday party is super easy.
Yes.
You just have to grab a few things, go to the park. Cleanup is really easy.
Yes.
It's easier to leave instead of sometimes you might it'd be hard to get people to leave your house after the party. Maybe it's getting close to bedtime. You're like, I wish they'd go. Sometimes it's easier to have a second location to go to and just bring what you need to that location and then leave when you want to. When your kids get tired, it's nap time.
Right. And there's something for the kids to do because you probably don't have a whole park in your backyard.
Right. Yeah, we've done it at splash pads and parks, things like that. Yep. So if somebody is looking for a simple birthday plan and they don't want to receive a lot of gifts, what's a nice way to communicate that to people?
Yeah, you can just like Google wording. This is talked a lot about in our group, like what's the best wording. And before when I say what that is, I think it's just really important to, like you said, just be gracious. Even if you ask for no gifts, some people probably will still bring gifts because that might be what they're used to. And so just to receive it graciously and not to make it awkward. One idea that some people have tried is called Fiverr parties, where they just ask people to bring $5 as a gift instead of a gift. And then the child can put them together and you can have them use it however you want or however they want.
And that's nice because it is odd to come empty-handed sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I can't bring anything. Well, what if somebody else brings something? And then now, because people do that.
Yes.
The request to not bring gifts is not always respected.
Yeah.
And so that does take that kind of social pressure off. You can have something in your hand. You feel like you followed the rules,
Yeah. Also, I feel like as the mom, decor is always a thing that's talked about a lot, and trying to find a way to make it minimal but still make it the day special. And I have always been a decor lover. When I was a kid, I used to decorate my room and rearrange my room and decorate it again. I just had fun making the room have this atmosphere. So I think I really enjoy that. But it can be really overwhelming, especially, if you're having the party at your house and maybe you have a big house, or you just, look up Pinterest parties, that whole Pinterest thing. And there's some really elaborate things out there, and it can be overwhelming, and sometimes you can feel a lot of pressure to make it be super extravagant with the decor. So some ideas to help you keep the decor minimal is using perhaps a neutral reusable tablecloth.
Yep.
And then on top, you can make maybe the food is like the decor.
Yeah.
The color, choosing colors. So like if you're doing like a pink birthday, you can have
strawberries, grapes. Yeah, we've gone down to one white tablecloth for every event.
Nice.
Because you're right. You can use the food. You can use flowers.
Right.
Some candles. Since moving to this house, one thing that we've done is our dining table is in like a sunroom with a peaked ceiling. And on the ceiling, there's a ceiling fan. And so the kids one time put homemade confetti, so cut up paper, on the ceiling fan. And then we put balloons on the table with their gifts. Not really thinking about it, but when we turned on the ceiling fan, it was magical. And then the balloons went to the floor, and it was like the gifts were revealed. And we didn't even really plan it that way, but we've been doing that consistently. And so it pretty much costs nothing, a couple of balloons and then a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And the pain is vacuuming it up after, but it's fine. It's just a couple birthdays a year.
Yeah.
But that's kind of become a thing. It's very low cost, very low planning, because you could just do it the night before.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Oh, my kids would love that. I'll have to try that after we move out of our RV and have a room with a ceiling fan in it.
Yep.
Although we can get creative and use some other fan. Blow the confetti from the side or something.
When the kids were really little, though, I would fill up their room with balloons.
Oh, did you?
So when they'd wake up in the morning. So it was like putting them to bed and then blowing up a ton of balloons. And then quietly, the sound that balloons make when you're holding tons of them, just like these weird bumping sounds in the night, and stuff them in there. Really high some years, but
oh my gosh,
I've kind of gotten lazy with that as they got older. Also, they're older, so they're like, what are you doing? Because they're not sleeping. I'm not staying up till 2 a.m. So if I go to do it, I go to bed before them. So they're like, I'm like, look away. This is my tradition.
Well, my kids are older now too, and this is all them. They got the idea to do paper, what do you call it, crepe paper across the door, in a zigzag. And so they expect it, but they do it for each other. They just can't wait until it's somebody's birthday. And then it's like a game, because the one that's going to sleep, the birthday kid, they know what's happening and they're not asleep, but they just play along and stay in bed while the other kids are doing the thing so they can burst through it in the morning. I'm like, whatever, that stuff is really cheap and it's a fun thrill for them.
It doesn't take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my mom would do that, the crepe paper
over
something, like the bunk bed or whatever.
Oh, fun.
So I think that's where I came up with the balloon. Something in their room where they get up and it's magical.
Yeah.
Someone says, happy birthday. It's like the balloons are celebrating them, or the paper or whatever, before anyone else sees them. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, so earlier when I was talking about those elaborate parties that I used to throw when my kids were little, and all the hard work I put in, all these homemade decorations and stuff, and I used to keep all that stuff afterward, because I feel like, oh my goodness, I spent all this time on it and it's really cool, and what if we use it again? And it literally just filled up this closet, this whole storage closet. I had bins and bins, and every time I go through it, it would feel sentimental and I'm like, this stuff is usable, we could use it again. Some of it I pulled out and would maybe use again, but honestly, when we downsized from our house into an RV, I got rid of most of it, because it was just taking up a room in a closet. So now I'm all for just using the one neutral tablecloth that's reusable, so I don't have to buy one and throw it away every single year, or multiple times a year. And then, like you said, just keeping something simple like flowers, putting those on the table, or maybe we got a birthday plate that's just one of those plastic, happy birthday, but we always just put that on the table, and that's just a fun celebratory thing. So it's really a small thing that we can keep with our dishes and it doesn't take up half a closet.
Right.
Another tip, you could look for free decor on Buy Nothing groups. And then when you're done, you can put it back on there for somebody else to use.
Yeah.
So you don't have to store all this stuff.
Right. That's the best. Because then like a disposable thing, because a lot of birthday decor is disposable, kind of, gets more mileage out of it before it ends up in the trash.
Right. Some of it, I mean, when it's fresh, you can still use it.
Oh, yeah. I've even seen people post balloons.
Wow.
Like those beautiful balloon arches that are expensive.
Yeah.
And someone will be like, this is perfect. I have a party this weekend. Perfect. Like, so more use. Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned, experiences. If you want to go that route with the party instead of having the party at your house, you don't want to decorate, you don't want to spend the money on that or the hassle or have to decide if you're going to keep the stuff. Instead, just going somewhere. One year we did a combined party for all 4 of my kids, and we invited a few friends, and we went to a water park, and I didn't have to do any decorating. We just brought a cake and swam.
Do you still do stuff on their birthday, like their actual birthday, to acknowledge?
Yes. That year when we did that, we still, just with our immediate family, we just had like a little celebration.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, we've really also come to the experiences over stuff type attitude. We, for the last couple years all my kids have summer birthdays. So I'll take off work and then I'll let them decide what they want to do. We've done things like an alpine slide, a movie, a shopping trip, hanging out, going on a walk, swimming, Top Golf. Or one year for my daughter's 16th birthday, we flew everybody to Alabama, which is where she was born. Aww. And that was really fun, to go back to some of those places and show them because we hadn't been back there in 16 years. So that was a big trip for her birthday. But experiences definitely make more memories.
Yes.
I don't know if my kids remember what they got on different birthdays, and I don't remember what I got on different birthdays.
Nope.
But you do remember the experiences more. And so I think it sticks more, and it builds that family connection.
Yeah, my daughter went horseback riding. My other daughter went on a one-on-one camping trip with her dad. And we've done trips to amusement parks with just that kid and their one friend. And that's been fun. That's what they want to do, is just go do something fun.
Yeah.
Another thing that is talked about a lot in the Facebook group is party favors. And one of the questions is yes or no.
Yeah.
Do you need to do party favors, yes or no? Some have said they ask for no gifts, and so then they don't do party favors. They just want the people to come and hang out and have fun together.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do party gifts. And some ideas for that, to avoid the cheap plastic things that are often in those. Maybe something consumable, like a snack, maybe like fresh popcorn or some kind of fun snack that they can take home, and then it's not adding clutter to their house. Or maybe a piñata, and they just get candy in a bag that goes home with them. Yeah. Some people have said they have the kids decorate their own cupcakes, and they can take that home as a favor. Or things like sidewalk chalk, bubbles, Play-Doh, or like pool noodle lightsabers. They have an epic battle and then they take it home as a party favor. Things like that don't cost too much money but are a little more useful or consumable.
Yeah, one year that reminds me of when my girls were really little, and I took like all the broken crayons and melted them into shapes.
Yeah.
Just
fun.
Something like, okay, we're getting rid of this, and kind of repurpose it into something new that the kids can take home and color with.
That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about adult birthday parties.
Okay.
Often when we hit milestone ages, 35, 40, that's as far as I've gotten. But there's pressure to do something big, like an epic trip or cruise. Where are you going for your 40th birthday? So how have you handled your milestone birthdays in your life?
We have been kind of boring.
Yeah, us too.
I don't know. I think just getting older and having kids, I feel like a lot of times it's more just about spending quality time together. Yeah. So we'll just pick an activity that whoever's birthday it is that they enjoy, and it's usually not something big and expensive. Yeah. Just a hike or, camping, like we said, or a favorite movie, something like that.
Yeah, or a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Ordering your favorite food. Something. Right. This last birthday, I flew with one of my sisters to see my other sister in Seattle, and that was nice. That was probably the first time I've gone anywhere without kids for a birthday.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah, it was. And another birthday a couple years ago, I went with a friend to Florida.
Fun.
And that was fun too, because you get to fly and then not have all the responsibilities of flying with a family of 6. It's just you. And so it does feel really relaxing. And I had time to, on the Florida trip, I had a lot of time to read. And the Seattle trip, I did a lot of sightseeing. And that was really fun. So
that's fun.
But I think that's been it for like memorable experiences. Otherwise, I also enjoy maybe even a little bit of time alone on my birthday.
Yes.
You know, which sounds kind of depressing to some people, but some people want a huge party or a big trip, and some people just want a little bit of alone time. So personality matters, and there's no such thing as an ideal minimalist party. It's really about the person who's being celebrated and looking to add value to their life.
Mm-hmm.
We are excited to introduce the 2024 Minimalist Mom Planner. I don't know about you, but I love a good planner. It keeps me organized, on track, and motivated. We've designed this planner to keep you on top of your game and help you achieve your New Year's resolutions. Included in the planner are monthly and daily planner pages, our monthly declutter challenge for the entire year, budget, spending, and buy nothing challenge trackers, weekly cleaning lists, meal plan, and even a little space for gratitude. Because let's face it, even the smallest victory deserves a celebration. You can download it now at 123minimize.com and make 2024 your most organized and stress-free year yet. So that's a wrap for today's episode about minimalist birthdays. We hope you enjoyed this topic and found a few tips that might help you on your journey.
We want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our amazing listeners for tuning in. Your support and curiosity are what keeps us going. For more tools and resources to help you on your journey toward a simpler life, visit our website, www.123minimize.com. If you found today's episode valuable, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an opportunity to explore new ideas and perspectives. And if you're inclined, leave us a review, which helps to spread the word to others who might enjoy the journey too. As always, feel free to connect with us on Facebook or Instagram to share your thoughts, suggestions, or just to say hi. Until next time, stay motivated. Take care.